What's going on, guys? T2RX6 here, back with another third-party review, and today we're looking at FT04. This is Scoria, the #1 in their iron die bots, is what they're calling them. And oh my god, it is Slag, and he looks freaking awesome. He comes with a couple accessories. Let's get them out of the way. These are the heels to make Grimlock bigger. This is one of the few things that bothers me about this is, this one's fine, but this one you can see the little black piece just kind of falls out and flops around. And these extend out to be like laser cannons, and they could use a click to make them stay there because they just move too easy. But that's a very minor gripe, and almost the only complaint I have about this toy. To get them ready for Grimlock, you swing them on out like this, and you extend these, and we'll get them on Grimlock in a minute. He comes with his gun here, which is LED. They don't compromise the toy here to actually make that actually have a flashing light. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the flashing. I thought I would have rather seen it solid, but the flashing does make sense because it's kind of like he's shooting over and over and over. So, props to Fanstoys for making the most complicated sets of battery compartments ever. This one, you have to take this chrome piece and kind of lift it up, and to me this feels super fragile. This will be definitely a complaint, because to get it you have to kind of push it up, and I really don't like pushing the plastic that hard. I feel like something's gonna break. So you can get some access to there, and they are difficult to get in on there. So the instruction manual does come with the batteries, or it tells you what batteries you need, so I'm not gonna waste time with that here. The sword looks huge. You take these 3 batteries out, and it takes a while of wiggling to actually get these 2 apart. Be careful, don't twist this too much, and watch the switch when you're doing it. And other than that, it's not a problem. Again, lights up really nice thanks to it being an LED in there, and it does look really big compared to Grimlock's sword until you realize that because they didn't use that light in the hand like Grimlock does, the swords are actually fairly close in size. They're not really all that much different. It's just the handle that makes them look that way. You get an alternate head, which I am a little confused about why it's in red. And he's got his mouth open. It could use some black paint to not look so silly there. You will see, this is the other gripe I have. It has a blue reflective visor. It's not bad. It's better than an unlight piped, or a light pipe toy with no light piping. But I do wish that the blue was a little bit darker on the visor. And you do get 2 red faces. Essentially, the 2 faces that Slag has here. The open mouth and the closed mouth in red, so you can replace that and have an all red version if you really want to, which doesn't look horrible, but I do like the contrast to the silver. So let's take a look at Slag here. No sense delaying this anymore. Gosh, look at this guy. He is heavy, heavy, heavy. Die cast horns on this guy. Beautiful gold and silver chrome job there, going all the way down to the feet here on the back. Just an absolutely gorgeous toy from every angle you can hold him. No doubt about it who this is supposed to be, and frankly I don't think it leaves much room for repro labels, because look at the paint work to get those wires and stuff all colored in. I mean, I can't see anything. I mean, even underneath the plastic cap we still got some gold chrome bits. Like, it's just amazing. The dinosaur's head does move back and forth a little bit of up and down motion on it, which is pretty nice, gives you some articulation options. You can, of course, open the jaw, and actually inside here, hard to see, is a little port thing here. There we go. It looks like, you know, maybe we could accept a accessory pack with some kind of fire or something to shoot out of his mouth. That would be pretty cool. If anyone knows an accessory that fits like that, let me know. I'd love to know. You can move the horns around a little bit, but honestly, who wants to do that? Articulation, real quick on this guy. You just got a decent range of motion on the legs here, in and out. The 360, of course, he's got his knees here, which I just bent the wrong way. Actually, I'm just noticing it doesn't go back the other way. only forward like this, so I don't know, maybe that's an issue to you, but I'm happy with him just standing on all fours. The tail has a little bit of articulation here and at the very bottom, so 3 segments of articulation, which is nice. I really like that. Let's just bring in Grimlock here so we can compare him. And Grimlock is sufficiently tall, but you know, Scoria / Slag here is very, very wide. And I like how these guys look together. And you know what? I don't care if they say Tyrannosauruses were like that. I like my Grimlock standing up. And I really like how he looks standing next to Slag here. So to get these cannon pieces on Grimlock, very easy. You can see that they are ported out like that. And all you do is essentially clip them in there and you're done. And that's Grimlock holding his little feet extensions here. So before we go and take care of Scoria, let's take care of Grimlock here. We basically fold these guys on up, and then very simply, you take these from a side angle, and you just slide them in place over this piece here. And you can see, this is why this is a little bit of a hassle for me. But whatever, I can look past it because, you know, maybe they'll make a new Grimlock, and I'll probably get that too at this point. But yeah, there you go. It just slides on, no risk of damaging your Grimlock, just like that. You can put these in if you want to make them kind of look more like his feet. You can pull them out a little. That's kind of my preferred way to do it personally. And yeah, it makes Grimlock sufficiently taller. Let's get him out of here though. One more quick comparison before we take him to his robot mode, G1. The only thing that could make him more G1 would be if the front piece was clear and tail was clear. But you know what? That just looks so much better and more cartoon accurate. So enough delay, let's actually transform this guy, and I'm going to take him to robot mode and then I'll take him back after he does come packaged in his robot mode. And I wanted to say, when I got the Masterpiece Grimlock, when I transformed him the first time, I was just giddy because it was so much of the Generation 1 toy, but better. And this is the exact same thing. So let's get this guy transformed. First thing we're going to do is push this little black piece on the tail. That's really important. You don't want to force it in or out based on how it works. There's 2 actual buttons here, one for in, one for out. Then we're going to take the tail and pop this over this thing. And just kind of disconnect everything up like this. The next thing to do is going to be to disconnect these little side stomach flaps, I guess you would call them here, and we can come down to the legs. And what we're going to do, first we'll separate them like so, and then we're going to flip these all the way around and out like so, and we'll rotate these like that all the way, and we'll rotate it, and then you can see you have the exact same waist piece that you had on Generation 1, where you flip that up, you flip that down, you know, there it is almost 30 years later, and that was still the best way to do this. That just amazed me, you know. Same thing with Grimlock, similar type things happen. So let's go down to his feet here, and I did mean to mention that you do have some articulation in the actual toes there, which is pretty cool. So we're going to come here and we're going to make this unhollow. So first thing we're going to do is take these feet here and separate this like that and bring it as far down as you possibly can. And you'll see when we get it transformed, there's actually pieces on the other side that line up with some molding here so you can see it. The next thing to do is going to be to open up this back door like this and open up this front knee door like so. And then all we're going to do is take this and swivel this on around. Whoops, before we do that, drop this little piece down first. Then swivel this all the way on around. And if you did it right, you should see that, you know, this lines up here. And when we're looking back at this piece, we should be lined up in that notch here. If that's all done correctly, you can then just close this on up, and with a nice click, everything will seal, and you should have just a leg that looks like that, and like that on the inside. I mean, what a night and day difference that is. And such a unique way to get rid of that leg piece. And just make sure that you've pushed this in all the way, because it just tabs right into the leg there. So we'll come back around the other side, flip this open let's go back to the side here and take care of the dyno leg. Take this, collapse it as much as we can, open up the back panel, flip this on around. Whoops. Again, the little tiny gray piece that has to go down. Flip it all the way around. And then I don't like looking at it this way because it's too hard to see. So we'll flip it this way. And we'll make sure that, once again, everything here is set in such a way that we can close this. Nope, something is wrong here with how we have these pieces positioned. There we go, it just wasn't collapsed in enough. Now we can bring that like that, fold that up, check on this side again. Yep, everything's lined up. So we'll just take this and bring it on closed. And now he is kind of flopping around on me a little bit here, and part of the reason that is he's so freaking heavy on the top, but the more important reason is it's because I'm behind the camera and it's really hard for me to see how I'm holding him and stuff as I'm holding him, so it makes him flop a whole lot more. So we'll come up to the top of the robot here, and we'll start by taking these little pieces of his head and flipping these on in. And then you want to take these, and they don't extend far, but they do extend just a little, and you can barely see it. I'll push it in and pull it out. Not very much, there's no real noise. Just pull it as much as you can on both sides here. Pull it out. I almost don't even know how necessary pushing that is, but whatever, that's what the instructions tell us to do. Before we do the epic head reveal type thing, let's actually get the back situated. So with this, you're going to fold the tail so it's up here like this, and then you want that tail to go up into the spot right behind his back, and that's as compact as it's going to get. You can see his tail is just kind of tucked up there, and you're relying on the friction of all these joints to actually hold it in place. I do kind of wish that this would tab a little, but I don't see it being an issue. And then we'll just open up his back flaps like this. So we'll come to his hands here. We'll open this on up just like you would any other masterpiece. Flip his hands on around. You do have fully articulated fingers here. And I'm not a huge fan of fully articulated fingers, but you know everybody else is, so there you go, you have it. I know that that's a big point for some people. Again, same on the other side. Pull it on out. And the articulated fingers definitely are very difficult to get open, and I'm sure we'll see more than one picture of him where he's flipping everybody off because, you know, classy. So then we're going to take this mouthpiece here, and this is a little tough. You want to take it and kind of push those joints back in and then fold it on up. It's hard to really explain, you'll see it in person. Open this black piece, flip out his head, close the black piece, close the silver piece, and the only repro label he needs, in my opinion, is that Autobot logo, which is nice and carved in there for you to put that in. Alright, sorry about that, guys. It took a while to get the sword into his hand here. You can see that his wrist has to kind of be bent down to hold the sword, which is a little bit of a bummer, but it's not bad. And this one we have the gun ready to go, shooting some Decepticons. Yeah, I really like this. I think I would display him with the sword more than I would the gun, and you can just see just how nice it looks, uncompromised by the gimmick like Grimlock has. Let's run through articulation here a little bit. We do have a good range of motion on the head with the ball joint. He can't really look down too much, but that's okay. The arm is on a universal joint, so you do get the 360 swivel out of it, and the good range of in and out based on how it's created. There is a bicep swivel, of course, there is the elbow swivel, and the previously mentioned wrist swivel right here. Whoops, forgot to plug that in when I transformed him. And you can see, really, to hold his weapons, he has to have his thumb out of the way. Oh well, you probably can get it in there, but it's a little bit tough, and I don't want to risk breaking a expensive toy. These back flaps actually do have a tiny bit of motion here thanks to this black piece. I'm not sure how far out they go. I certainly don't want to really test it, but yeah, you can kind of angle them up just a tiny bit here. But I think you get a greater range of motion if you don't. Coming down to the lower part of his body, of course you got the waist. It will go 360. A universal joint here on the legs works great. The upper thigh swivel. The knee joint, which works great. No knee swivel, but that's okay. And the toe swivel here, so you can get them in some nice, you know, wide stances, and those feet are still flat and planted. Who doesn't like that type of posability options? And yeah, I mean, I just think this guy just looks fantastic holding his sword and stuff, like he's ready to attack. So let's get this out because it's actually just going to fall off his hand there. And let's bring Grimlock back in here. Now, this is Grimlock size without his little foot extensions. You can see there is a pretty big disparity between the two of them. It's best when he has his foot extensions in, which do offer him a fairly substantial height upgrade. He's still maybe a little bit small, but I don't think they could really go much further up without this looking completely ridiculous in transformation. So it's an acceptable fix for Grimlock. Not the best, but I think Fanstoys has said they do want to make a Grimlock too, so we'll see how that goes. So let's leave them here, and let's bring in the MP10 here. And this is the knockoff one. And one thing I didn't notice in the review is that these windshield wipers are articulated. But we'll go ahead and stick him in there, and you can see he's, you know, a little bit smaller than these guys. He stands a little bit smaller than Grimlock, and a fairly large amount smaller than Slag. And I think that looks good. I like it. I like that tiny bit of extra height. And then finally, just for the fun of it, there's his little G1 self. You know, back in the day, that's what he looked like. And definitely a big upgrade. Moving on. So let's go ahead and turn this beast back into his dinosaur mode. The first thing we'll start by doing will be, we'll fold his hands on up. We'll open these little back panels here, like this, and flip them on in. Close them up. I think the panels on the back may feel like the most delicate parts, like just because of the way they make that real strong click and stuff, but I don't think that I fear them breaking or anything. We'll take this and just contract them on both sides. Open this on up here, and this just stays all the way down. Take your finger, if you can get in there. And normally this isn't that big of an issue for me, but today I'm having a problem. There we go. Take that, close this on up. Now let me see if I can capture what you're supposed to do here. You can see these swivels. You want to take this down and pull it all the way around so the swivels go to the other side, and then close that. And then there you go. And there you have his mouth. We might as well we'll wait to fold those down until we get more things out of the way. So we'll come back down to his legs here. We can rotate them so they're facing the opposite way and kind of spread his legs a little bit. Let me adjust the camera here so we get the best viewing angle. For his legs at least. There we go. What we're going to do now is take this, flip that open. Always make sure you flip the top piece open, or the like the knee portion. Flip this whole leg on around, flip the little gray piece in, and then we can close this all up. And we got his foot. We'll go ahead and make that happen. Just like so. And we'll do the same thing for the other side here. open it, flip, gray piece, close, close, again, make the foot, like so. There we go. Now it's just a matter of having them the right way, like this, and we can bring this up a little bit now, and rotating these on around like so, and actually kind of bringing this red waist piece on down while you're doing it, so it'll angle down as we're closing them on up. And we'll do that again for this side. Bring it down and rotate it on around. Then just make sure everything is fitting together properly, like so. And then just squeeze everything together. Make sure you got both the top and bottom squeezed together. There we go. We got that all done. You're gonna come around here. This little piece will close up, and you can see that it kind of tabs into the chrome piece just a little bit. Just like that on both sides. Now it's just a matter of doing the back. Pull out the whole tail piece. Rotate these flaps on down. Try not to make them play dead Triceratops mode. That's a beast worst thing. We don't need our G1s doing that. We can take these and carefully close them on up. It is a little bit tough to get all these little tabs to fit on in, so just kind of, you gotta work at it a little bit. Make sure the tail's out of the way too while you're doing all this stuff, because you need all these to be fitting in. There we go, like that. And you come down to the tail here, and it's gonna be tough, but push it and it'll pop in. And then to extend the tail here, all we do is push this little button here and pull it on out, and that's done. So we'll just make them so he can stand here, and flip out his little plates here, and yeah, freaking awesome. I love this guy. Fanstoys did not disappoint yet again. If I have to compare him to Shockwave, this guy's better. He's definitely better than Shockwave. Shockwave is maybe a little more cleaner, but it's the nature of Shockwave versus a Dinobot here. And, you know, this guy was delayed a lot, and he came out beautifully. I really hope Swoop does not take as long as Scoria took, or Slag, or whatever you want to call him. I hope he doesn't take as long as that. Because I'm addicted, man. I just need another taste, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Don't make me wait on Swoop, Fanstoys. And what are you guys doing? If you have the money for this, go out and buy it. You need it. If you're a masterpiece collector and you don't have it, shame on you. I'm T2RX6. I'll see you next week.